Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 battle with me and my pal Surreal Beliefs. We are bringing Bretonnia and the Empire versus the forces of the Greenskins and the Warriors of Chaos. My army this time is going to have the King on a mounted horse, not his hippogriff this time, because he is going to be staying close to our infantry group, which consists of 4 spears. We have 2 men-at-arms, 2 peasant bows, and a damsel back here for spell assistance. Off to the left is our main force of 3 Knights of the Realm with a Paladin leading a group of 2 Grail Knights. The forces for the Empire that are joining us, we have multiple halberdiers, I believe 4 or 2 on each flank. We have 3 swordsmen, 2 outriders behind them, a Amber Wizard, a Imperial Captain over here. We have Boris Toddbringer, which is again another unit that I haven't unlocked yet because I have to play the campaign, but I am kind of curious to see him. Actually, let's take a pause here. I've never actually looked at his stats. So he can take potions, he has that stand your ground ability, 450 weapon strength. Charge bonus is kind of high because of his horse. Melee attack of 60 and defense of 50. Armor of 100. It looks like he's just kind of slightly better than maybe a general of the Empire. I don't know. I have to unlock him to actually compare them, but he still looks cool though. He's a very impressive plumage on his helmet there. The rest of the forces here, I believe, are, here we go, the 2 Demigryph Knights with halberds on the flank, and then the Greatsword unit in the back. So that's going to be our forces. For the enemy forces, we have a front line of infantry here consisting of Orc Biggins and Savage Orcs, backed up by 4 groups of Black Orcs. We have a generic Orc War Boss, a Night Goblin Shaman. The flank is held by 3 Orc Boar Boy Biggins, which are going to be the anti-cav that the Orcs have. And then over here we have a very elite force of Warriors of Chaos. A Chaos Sword on the Dragon, 2 Exalted Heroes on their beasts. We have 2 Chosen with great weapons, a Sorcerer of Metal, and then way in the back, 2 Chaos Knights. So a very small but very elite force, a very mobile force here with these heroes all mounted up, which is pretty crazy. So in the beginning, I wanted to try and isolate these Orc Boar Boy Biggins so I didn't have to worry about them. We have the cav advantage in numbers with the Grail Knights and the Paladin over here. So I'm going to try and charge each one of these groups with the Knights of the Realm to intercept their charge, and then try and get other charges off with their Grail Knights is the idea, as our armies just kind of slowly march into position. No artillery on either side here, even though all factions have, well, yeah, they have decent artillery. So here we go. Here come our Knights of the Realm trying to get charges off. Our Paladin will be joining the fight as well. This Grail Knight group is going to go around and then charge this group. I'm going to let these group alone and just dealing with the Knights of the Realm. So let's pause it real quick, and you're going to see, because of the damage of the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, they have armor piercing and anti-large, whereas the Knights of the Realm are just a straight up normal weapon damage for the most part. The Orc Boar Boy Biggins do win an engagement when put up against only Knights of the Realm, which is why you can see here these Knights are slowly losing this battle, but they have dealt an initial kind of a large blow to the Orc Boar Boys, but with the help of these Grail Knights, we're going to be able to turn the tide of this battle much quicker. And we're going to also try and charge this group over here, but you can see our Knights over here are just getting destroyed. But the Grail Knights are coming in. This was the plan. Have the Knights absorb most of the damage, and the Grail Knights finish with the charge of their very impressive lightsabers. Lightsaber lances. I don't know. You do see some Black Orcs are moving in to come into this fight, so I decide to withdraw because we also have the Flying Lords of the Warriors of Chaos coming in as well, and that is a fight I don't really want. So that's why we are currently trying to withdraw from this engagement. The initial fight here, my Knights took a very heavy beating. As you can see across the board, all 3 took heavy beating. My Grail Knights are still pretty much full. Their Orc Boar Boy Biggins took a beating as well. And I think overall it's worth it. If I can crush the rest of their cav, then we're going to have a cav advantage. And Grail Knights without anything to contest them are going to be pretty strong. Along with this Paladin. It looks really cool. Over here, the Night Goblin Shaman, I believe, or maybe it was the Sorcerer of Metal here, cast a spell, a magical spell that went through them. Here comes some more Lore of Metal, this bombardment spell on these Outriders. Doesn't really do too much, though. The only way that's going to do a lot is if you focus it on a very heavily clumped group of probably infantry. Peasant Bows are going to be getting some shots off on these Savage Orcs who are charging Surreal's lines. Peasant Bows are going to do really well against Savage Orcs. You can see a lot of them already falling. Here comes the Black Orcs as well. You can see other in the flank already. Boris Starbringer getting into that fight, along with this Manticore summoned by his Amber Wizard. Meanwhile, over here, we're going to have a second cav engagement, and our Spearmen are going to have to hold the line against these Orc Biggins. Once again, I am sending our Shattered Knights of the Realm to try and intercept their charges as much as possible, so our Grail Knights don't have to actually take any kind of charge. So you can see we disrupted this group pretty well. And then we're going to get a pretty nice charge off on this group who's just running by. Meanwhile, we have a Curse of the Big Bad Moon, which isn't going to hit much. The Orc Biggins are going to do pretty good against our Spearmen, so I decided to put the King and the Paladin in these fights to try and sway it to our advantage. Over in the fight with Surreal, which we will show later, I will be continuously dropping Curse of the Wind. There it is. Curse of the Midnight Wind upgraded means its extended duration effect up to, I think, 48 or 58 seconds. So minus 15 armor to everything in a wide area, as well as a minus 2 melee attack. So my Damsel is mostly going to be trying to assist Surreal's fight, because he's also fighting against the Chaos over there. Peasant Bows did a really good job against the Savage Orcs, so now I've turned them against the Black Orcs. Black Orcs are very heavily armored, but against so many bows, they are still going to take some damage. Over there with the Cav fight, my Knights of the Realm again have taken a beating, but because of their sacrifice, the Grail Knights have managed to mostly clean up the rest of the Orc Boar Boy Biggins on this flank. Black Orcs are coming in to assist them, though. We're going to try and pull out of this fight before they get there. Over here, the Orc Biggins versus our King and Paladin, Peasant Bows, and Spearmen. We're not doing too bad. The Spearmen aren't exactly suited to beat the Biggins, but with the help of the Paladin, the Lord, and the Bows, they're not going to do too shabby. You can see the Sword of Corone skill, so let me actually show that off real quick. I equipped the King with the sword. Oh, that's the wrong thing. With the Sword of Corone, you're going to see it in the unicard there, and it gives a hex. We'll look closely on that after the battle. But that's the ability going off right there. You can see the armor and melee defense of these units are currently dropped. One of the new toys that the King got access to in the latest patch. The Manticore of Surreal has been focused down and is currently withdrawing. This Black Orc group, my Spearmen held the line long enough, and under the focus fire of the Peasant Bows, they are actually being murdered by Spearmen and Peasant Bows, which is really impressive. I knew the bows would do some damage, but I didn't realize just how much they would deal to Black Orcs. Because these guys have, what, 120? Or 100 armor? 110 armor. That's no joke. These Peasant Bow, or these Spearmen must feel really good. Over here, I was doing some charges against these Black Orcs and withdrawing when possible. And we're going to be sending our Knights, I believe, over here to manage or mop up the retreating forces of the Orcs. These two Exalted Heroes from the Warriors of Chaos drop into our bows, so I'm going to send some Spearmen to assist. As well as the King himself is going to be going over there. There goes the King, trying to save his peasants. You can see the Paladin and Man-at-Arms still holding off the Biggins and actually going to be winning that fight. And meanwhile, the remaining cav that we have is in the back just trying to mop up everything that is running away to try and not give it any time to come back. Peasant Bows now focus firing on this Orc Boy who thought they wanted to come back and fight some more, but they are turned off once again. The King is trying to do his best to kill this Exalted Hero, but I believe he does manage to fly away. Paladin has done really good at drawing the aggro of the Biggins and killing them with the Men-at-Arms, but we are going to get charged by these Black Orcs. But the King says no! The King is here to fight with his peasants. You see more Knights back here dealing with the Exalted Heroes, and other Knights dealing with some Chaos Knights that came back from routing, but we still have mostly intact Grail Knights and some Knights of the Realm over there to take care of them. While this fight rages on over here on the flank. Peasant Bowmen showering the enemy Black Orcs with arrows. And their own King in the back of the... Oh, it's like in the shoulder.
To my banner!
Paladin and the Man-at-Arms have joined him, and they are pushing back the Black Orcs. Rally to your king, my friends. Rally to your king.
Doing our duty.
And that is going to be the fight for the most part. We have chased off the exalted hero with our knights and our spearmen. And we are going to achieve a victory against the Greenskins and the Warriors of Chaos. Now let's see this battle from Surreal's perspective. Outriders are moving up into position. I believe they're... There we go. Trying to get some shots into the Black Orcs on the their left flank. The Outriders' guns look just so cool. There goes that magic missile. The Outrider shots doing a little bit of damage to the Black Orcs. They are armor piercing, so they should get some damage in on them. Yeah, it's showing up in their hit bar now. I have never actually used Outriders as just riflemen behind a line of infantry, so this is really interesting to me. Let's see if it works. They've dealt quite a significant blow. So the Black Orcs are going to be charging against the Halberdiers. We have an Imperial Captain, though, that's going to try and hold this flank. You see the Savage Orcs getting showered by the arrows. Not a shower you really want. Manticore trying to disrupt the charge of the Savage Orcs. Good job there. And Boris Todbringer is going to try and hold the left flank against the Savage Orcs with his impressive flowery helmets. Over here you can see the transmutational lead being dropped by the Warriors of Chaos Sorcerer. Here comes the Exalted Heroes into the Outriders. The Demigryph Knights are now running out to the flank to cause some trouble. There's the Emperor Wizard as well. Chaos Chosen are now also in this right flank against the Halberdiers and the Great Swordsmen. Great Swords and Chosen are going to be doing a lot of damage to each other, but we also have the Chaos Sorcerer as well. Chaos Knights are getting into the battle. They are now being affected by that Curse of the Midnight Wind because it's just in this entire area. It looks like they're charging against the Man-at-Arms. They're just trying to ride past. I'm not sure. But these Demigryph Knights are going to be coming in behind them. They are affected by Itchy Nuisance from the Goblin Shaman. But that is not going to be enough to save these Chaos Knights in this situation. They're now kind of surrounded because of their movements. You have some Spearmen nearby to lead assistance as well as the Man-at-Arms. You see these Orc heroes trying to do what they can against the Halberdiers. Not a fight that they really want, though. The Orc War Boss is kind of in the middle of a lot of enemy units at this point, doing what he can. And you can see the damage from all of our units. These Chaos Knights were shut down by Demigryph Knights, by spells, by Men-at-Arms, Spearmen. Like, they were in a very bad situation. Not one that they wanted to be in. So they got shut down pretty quickly there. And the right flank, even though these are chosen with great weapons, like, these great swords are holding really well, considering that they're fighting two groups of these. I was actually kind of shocked that the chosen weren't just chewing through them faster over here. Because this is what the chosen are for. Armor piercing, just murder people. Right next to some Black Orcs. Demigryph Knights still causing some problem for the Black Knights, or Chaos Knights. They go the two Exalted Heroes over to try and deal with me. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord is over here fighting against Demigryph Knights and Halberds. Not a fight that he wants, especially on his dragon. We have another Curse of the Midnight Wind being dropped on these units, as well as, I believe, Transmutational Lead from the Chaos Sorcerer. So there's just so many buffs and debuffs happening on this side of the battlefield. It's crazy. You can see the Kitty Cav is now chasing the Chaos Knights out of the battle. Over here, the Halberdiers, along with their Imperial Captain, is still holding the line against the Chosen and the Black Orcs for a very impressive amount of time. The Great Swords did fall, but that was to be expected against two groups of Chaos Chosen with great weapons. It was bound to happen. Here comes another charge from the Kitty Cav and some Black Orcs. Boris Todbringer is still there too. You can see that the Imperial Captain is currently routing from these Chosen with great weapons. Goblin Shaman got a little too close to the battle and is engaged with some Demigryph Knights. My cav out there should be charging against these Chaos Knights soon-ish. There it goes. I think. Yeah. So the Grail Knights are going to try and finish the job of what the Demon Griff Knights started. And they're going to wrap this up pretty quickly with some assistance from Knights of the Realm as well. Meanwhile, over here, Black Orc's still alive, but barely. The enemy Lord is now fallen. This Chaos Sorcerer is being chased off, and we are starting to get some mass routing. Even from the Chosen, who have very high leadership. The thing is, a lot of their allies are dead. Their enemy, or their Lord, is dead at this point. The only Lord left is this Orc War Boss, who is now back up to full health because of potions. So that's pretty good. Good use of potions there for the Orc War Boss. Keeping up in this fight a lot longer. But it's not going to be enough. The only thing keeping this fight along was that potion of foolhardiness, which made him unbreakable. But as soon as that wore off, he realized, like, oh crap, both of our armies are dead. There's nothing left, and he just instantly routed. So again, good game to my opponents and to Surreal. Let's take a look at the kill count. King netting in 45 kills. Very impressive. I love the King. Paladin getting 43 as well, so they held the line remarkably well. The Damsel did a lot, though not shown in the stats provided by CA because they don't really count like buffs and debuffs. They don't count anything except for kills. Like that's just all they do. But she cast a lot of Curse of Midnight's Winds, which definitely affected the battle some. The Spear Line I think did really well. Men at Arms did pretty well. The Peasant Bows got so many kills against Black Orcs, which is impressive. Knights of the Realm did their job. They intercepted the charge, they got some kills, and they protected the Grail Knights, so I think they did excellent. For Beef Tingo, aka Surreal, Todd, or Boris Toddbringer, got 37. I think his heroes did pretty well. The swords did pretty well considering they were fighting against Chaos Knights and Black Orcs for the most part. Halberd Line did exceptionally well at holding off Chosen. Greatsword only got 25 kills, but held that flank for so long against two Chosen and their Sorcerer, so they did an exceptional job. The Outriders got a lot of shots in. They did do some damage, but didn't actually get any kills, and the Demigryph Knights did exceptionally well. The small elite force here, you can see the Exalted Heroes got a lot of kills, I think mostly against the Outriders, though. The Chosen did get some high amount of kills, but were held off for a long time, so they weren't really able to be used to their max effectiveness. And the Chaos Knights got surrounded and shut down. For the Orcs, that Orc War Boss was in the middle of enemy units through most of that fight, and netted 76 kills with the help of some potions, so very good there. 23 Goblin kills, or 23 kills from the Goblin Shaman. Savage Orcs kind of got shut down pretty quick by Peasant Bowfire. Biggins did exceptionally well. The Black Orcs, for the most part, did really well. And then the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, I think, did really well, considering they were outnumbered in the Cav department. They still got a ton of kills against my Knights of the Realm, so good job to them as well. So, that is the battle. I hope you enjoyed. Let's go see the King. Where are you? So not much really changed from the King here, other than you're able to take off these abilities if you want to. I did take off the Beloved Son of Bretonnia to make him a little cheaper, because this is only in effect if he is basically routing. If his leadership is really low, the entire army becomes immune to psychology and gains a bonus to attack and charge bonus. But I didn't want him to be low at all, so I was like, felt pretty confident, so I took that off. Everything else I believe I kept on, though, because they are just really good. Oh, no, I took these off as well. I usually take off Deadly Onslaught and Foe Seeker on any unit to make them cheaper, and because I usually don't remember to, like, use them, I did keep this on. And then for the item, we have the Sword of Corone, so you can see here for 32 seconds, 45-meter area, minus 15 armor, and melee defense. And that can stack really well with the Damsel's Curse of the Midnight Wind, which I was just using a lot, but not to actually help me. I was using it to help Surreal's army. So the Curse of the Midnight Wind, minus 34 melee attack and armor, and then if you do stack them with his Sword of Corone, you're also going to be lowering their defense and armor even more. So those two hexes at the same time can really hurt a part of the enemy infantry line or cav line or wherever you stick these hexes. So I think those work really well. I like the Sword of Corone. It's a nice addition to the King, and I believe that's the only change he's really received from the patch, but it's a nice one. Very nice one. Hope you enjoyed that episode, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care.